Excuse me. You look pretty Swedish, by the way. I just walked past. I thought you looked really hot.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're still a student?
Actually, I finished studying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm Iain.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And I'm not high or anything like that.
No, otherwise.
No. What are you doing right now? Like,
Just walking home.
like a really quick coffee. Yeah, because basically there's like a Nero, like
Yeah, okay.
that way we can.
Go there?
It'd be cool if we could sit down.
Okay, yeah.
Hi guys, it's Iain here, and so today I really wanted to come back to the heart of why I do what I do. Now I wanted to talk to you about pulling hot women, as the title of the video suggests, and I wanted to talk about this, and I think it's a really important topic because it really is the reason why I got into this stuff for the first place. But first, let me take you all the way back to a time that was 2009. Now it was New Year's Eve, and it was a really cold New Year's Eve too. So at the time I had a group of mates back at home, and it was actually a mixed group of guys and girls. So we kind of had a social circle together, you know, which was really cool. But let me caveat when I say girls, because, you know, they weren't models by any kind of stretch of the imagination. They were just an average looking group. So it was that type of thing where, you know, we would only meet once in a year just to catch up on, you know, what everyone's been doing and to spend the New Year's Eve together. However, when we met up, there was always a bit of tension flowing in the group. There was always a bit of sexual tension between me and between one of the girls there, with whom actually I had no interest for. And that's kind of what made things worse. Our mates had this master plan where we would be together, and they would constantly try to set us up. But I would always, you know, avoid the situation as much as I could. So anyway, we all meet up and we're all partying away. And as the clock gets closer to midnight, my friends lure this girl and I closer together. Now, it was like a scene from the movies. And as the clock was just about to strike midnight on that New Year's Eve, the girl just gets launched into my arms and all eyes are just upon us. And the girl gets so close and her eyes start kind of looking at my lips. Oh dear God. I kid you not, it was at that moment that my life just flashed past me in a split second. I saw images of me 20 years into the future. I saw images of me with a family, with an average looking chick, and I basically felt overwhelming feelings of unhappiness and of emptiness. And it was at that moment that the universe told me I needed to make a change, and I realized that I couldn't settle for mediocrity. So what did I do? Well, sure as hell I didn't kiss her and I didn't sell myself out. No, I started to go out and I started to get into self-development, and I started to cold approach countless numbers of women, and I would go out for days and days upon end. And I'm not talking about, you know, going out 2 or even 3 days a week and that's it. That is pathetic. I would go out 7 days a week and sometimes even 30 days in a row. So basically I got into this stuff in order to get the highest quality of women, because I realized that if you stay as you are and if you keep doing what you're doing all of your life, the chances and that likelihood of you hooking up with, say, a beautiful girl are just gonna be really slim. So you really need to make a change. You need to change your ways and you need to find a new way to go about it. So why let fate decide how you should live or who you should end up with? Take time to educate yourself and take time to find the solutions, because it never hurts to try new things and to test new strategies. And it's interesting because even back when I was a newbie, I was never a believer that it was always, you know, about the money or even about the looks. Maybe I was just more aware of my surroundings, or maybe I was more positive than the average guy, and I could see through the lies that we're brought up with, and I could visualize much grander things. But I do think that it's because I saw firsthand that some guys were with really attractive women where the guys didn't look particularly wealthy, and some of the guys were pretty ugly too, but they'd still have a really gorgeous bird, you know, around their arms. And one thing I did notice though about these guys, and one commonality was their personality and their wittiness and their energy. Now, they certainly didn't seem like boring guys, so there's definitely something attractive about being witty and about being energetic when it comes to pulling those hot women. I thought to myself at the time anyway. So I got into cold approach and I got into self-development really to kind of increase the quality of the women that I was getting. And you see, I would hear about guys hooking up with less attractive or fatter women and gloating about it purely because, you know, they got laid. But I just didn't get it. I didn't get the point of it, and it wasn't me. And there's always that classic example of, you know, when a guy obsesses about the number of women that he's been with, you know, when they talk about that magic number. I mean, look, it's such a one-dimensional measurement because those types of guys add women that, you know, they weren't even attracted to that number. So what the hell is the point of that? I mean, who cares if you've been with uglier, more boring, or, you know, fatter women? It's hardly an achievement. And likewise, if you've slept with hookers, say, you know, just to boost that number, is that really something to be proud of? Is that really good for you, you know, in the long run? Well, you know, you obviously don't need to answer that because it's not going to be good for you in the long run. So you really need to be doing things for yourself and not for others. Don't buy into that fake peer pressure with guys telling you to hook up with a certain girl because it's the easy option, or to hook up with her just to boost that magic number. I mean, come on, open your mind and think about what's going on around you and figure out what it is that you truly want, not what your mates want or even what society wants. I mean, I think this is really crucial and really important, as once you know what it is that you want, you will know what journey you have to take, and you know, you'll know the solutions. The solutions actually will start appearing in front of you as your kind of reticular activation system and your unconscious mind begins to be alert to your desires. So once you establish that you do in fact want to pull those hotter women, you need a strategy to commit to and to abide by at all costs. I mean, guys, any successful pursuit requires a strict strategy or a plan to follow day by day. And this holds true for the likes of sports people and even investors. They have a strategy in which they will execute regardless of the conditions around them. Now, whether it's snowing outside or whether it's a recession, these guys will always commit to their strategy. They will never let anyone tell them otherwise. But in terms of success with beautiful women, you broadly have two options here. Now, you can master the ability to approach women from cold in any sort of setting, any environment, and any time of the day. Or you can master the ability to swipe left and swipe right on an app. However, I must point out that even the latter requires skills from the former. You know, when you physically begin to meet your girls for the first time. And look, I'm not going to talk about online dating too much today because I could go on and on about this for hours and hours. But, you know, as you already know, I'm an advocate of meeting women from cold approach because it's so much more efficient, and also the sheer quality of the women that you can meet in this way really is, you know, incomprehensible. If I were to give you the closest kind of analogy, just watch that movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, once again. But imagine them cold calling women and setting up dates. Now imagine the sheer volume that you could generate with that skill and with that determination. So let me show you my world, my friend, because it is insane. So how do we pull these hot women from a cold approach? Well, first off, you need to work on your mindset big time. You need to work on your mindset because you will have various preconceptions about women being approached which are just not true, okay? You will have beliefs that, you know, women will get offended if you approach them, or that the worst possible thing will happen when you approach them. Or it simply could be that it's completely outside of your reality and you probably don't even think that it's possible for someone to attract someone, you know, just like that. Well, I can tell you for a fact that, you know, women don't get offended if you try to strike up a conversation with them. I've personally been doing this for over 10 years now, and I've done thousands upon thousands of approaches, and I think I've only ever had maybe 2 or even 3 approaches that have backfired on me, which were rarities, and nothing even happened to me. So, they didn't even really backfire. So trust me, your life is not at risk when you're approaching a woman. So you definitely need to work on your mindset, and I guess you need to understand how the human mind works, because you see, our beliefs form our thoughts, and our thoughts form our actions. And if you have a healthy way of thinking, or should I say the correct way of thinking, then you'll take the action that you need to take. So there's nothing wrong, and there's no shame in accepting that you need to work on your mindset. I know some guys that they'll find it hard to accept that there's anything wrong with them. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with you. You're fine, you just need to make a few minor adjustments to get you thinking in the kind of most efficient way to get you pulling those hot women. That is all. And the second part to this, the second part of that killer strategy, is your skill level around women. Now, you basically need to improve your conversation skills around women, because you might, to this day, you might have been communicating without any sort of structure in your conversations. You've probably been communicating with girls in the same way that you do with guys, which, okay, is fine. That's fine if you want to befriend these girls, and there's nothing wrong with having female friends, but this won't attract them to you if you're looking to hook up with them. You naturally need to change your style of communication, and it has to come from much more of a persuasive, emotional, and more of a personal type of communication, if you see what I mean, which is it's so much more different to how you're used to communicating. And look, it really isn't that hard to change your mindset or even to change your skill level around women. You just need to commit to it, and you need to have a daily plan in place, and you need to take action upon it each and every day. Now, you might be thinking all of this is so difficult and it's so much work to do, but it's amazing. I can tell you, it's hardly what I define as work. I mean, not only do you improve on yourself and on your confidence, but you'll get the best and the most amazing memories of your entire life when you do this. I mean, whenever I find myself thinking back, through my memory bank, I never think back to that moment on that cold New Year's Eve some 10 years ago. No, I always think back to those amazing experiences that I've had pulling those gorgeous women, where the emotions that were flowing were just great. And I can vividly picture all of those experiences, and it feels great, and it feels like time really well spent. So even though it might seem like a whole lot of work to do, and it might seem like a mountain to climb, I can assure you it is all worth it in the end. I mean, at the end of the day, look, when our bodies deteriorate and when we're getting old and when we're getting frail, all of that will be left of you will be your memories, and those memories will kind of echo with you for the rest of eternity. So have a think about it, and have a think about what it is that you truly want, and have a think about taking your first step on this incredible journey. Alright guys, that is sadly all I have for you today. I hope you like the topic. Now, as always though, I'm really interested to know what it is that you're truly looking for in this life. Is it a hot woman, or is it just more confidence and to just improve on yourself? So please do put your thoughts and put your insights in the comment section right down below, so we can hear about your story too. As always, there will be many more videos from myself and from the rest of the Karma gang. Now today you were joined by Iain Miles, and I shall see you next time.